Penn State Nittany Lions as we take a look at the starting lineups. We'll start with the visitors from Rutgers. They're missing those 3 international players that Jackie told you about, and so that means they're going to change their formation and go with a 4-2-3-1. But again, it'll be Ali and then Moname right behind her that will lead the offense. Mike O'Neal, 6 seasons, gone to the NCAA tournament all 5 years. In fact, when Penn State won the national championship in 2015, it was Mike O'Neal against Penn State in the semifinals. That's how good he is. Penn State will go with a 4-3-3. At times it'll look like a 4-5-1, but the transfer from Boston College, Coffey, she's an All-American, first-team All-American, as is Rio. And, of course, Erica Dombach's the head coach. We'll have more on both coaches as we get ready to go. Penn State in their dark home blues, Rutgers in their visiting white with some red trim as we're underway here, the first of 2 Big Ten women's soccer games right here on BTN. Great to be with you. University Park, Pennsylvania, Jeffrey Field. You can see right behind Jeffrey Field, they're already getting ready for a big Penn State football game. There's Rio. We'll drop it back. And, of course, Penn State coming into this game, as always, playing a fierce schedule. This is dropped off. Amira Ali. Moname is in the box. They drop it off. Moname, little give and go. Phenomenal start for Rutgers. One flick, and Amanda Dennis, who has played a lot of games in goal for Penn State, has it.
She's been so good between the posts for Penn State, and that was a huge defensive stop there for Penn State as well. Right out of the gates, Rutgers offensively.
Schlegel wearing the pink headband for breast cancer awareness. 8 goals. Only one player, Gia Wahlberg from Michigan State, has more goals in Big Ten play. Wahlberg's got 9. Schlegel, 8. Redshirt freshman from Parker, Colorado, part of the Real Colorado program. Moname had a touch on it. Penn State, with that ridiculous schedule, they have played Stanford, West Virginia, as well as Oklahoma State, which is always really good. That's part of their non-conference schedule. As for Erica Dombach, it's all about getting ready for the Big Ten regular season and marching their way to the Big Ten tournament. Penn State has won 19 of 25 seasons. They've won the Big Ten title. That is just amazing.
It's remarkable, the consistency that this program has had. And as you mentioned, they're tough non-conference play. They like to do that. It's no secret that Dombach likes to kind of stack their schedule in the beginning. And like you said, they like to get broken down, see where the holes are, see what needs to get better prior to heading into conference play.
So for Rutgers, no Swaby and no Wiltshire in the back. That is your left back and your left center back. They're with the Jamaican full national team. That's right, the full national team. And then Roberts, the holding mid from England, is with the U20 team, as this is part of the FIFA window. In fact, the USA Women's World Cup team will play tonight as part of their victory tour. They're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Rutgers lose possession. Penn State, shot from distance from Taliaferry. Taliaferry having another outstanding year as she comes in with 4 goals and 7 assists. Schlegel, 8 goals and assists. And then the transfer, Sam Coffey from Boston College. How about that? Just picking up a first-team All-American, a Mac Herman semifinalist from a year ago. Rutgers trying to pounce. Ali. It's got Moname. Ali's going to take a shot, and Dennis, no problem. Amanda Dennis, the senior from San Diego, number 14 in the country all-time with a .72 goals against average. 55 games played, 34 wins, second all-time in the Big Ten with that .72 goals against average. And yet, last year, she didn't even make any of the first, second, or third teams for all Big Ten because Devin Kerr was so great. Jalen Cunningham at your alma mater And then Megan McClellan, who's in goal for Rutgers, she made third team as well as being named the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
A lot of parity in terms of the ability of goalkeepers in the Big Ten. A hard list to try and crack when you're trying to get on those all Big Ten teams.
Rutgers comes in 7-2-1, but they've lost their last 2 games. Penn State comes in 6-4-1, 2-1-0 in the Big Ten. Rutgers 1-2 in the Big Ten.
Caitlin Hayslip is that right center back for Penn State. She's one of the moving pieces that they're trying to figure out. Erica Dombach said she was a bright spot last weekend for them in the back line, so she'll look to get more consistent play. You'll see Frankie Taliaferry slide into that attacking mid-roll, and then another big change is Carrie Abello getting picked up higher onto the field instead of playing in that left back role to try and get a little bit more offensive production for this Penn State side as well.
LaPlante with Linehan doing the work defensively. Coming up next on BTN, the doubleheader continues when Michigan and Wisconsin go toe-to-toe in Madison. That's coming up next on BTN and the Fox Sports app. 2 top 25 teams and 2 teams that have not lost yet in Big Ten play. Michigan with 10 points, including a win here at Penn State. Wisconsin a perfect 3-0 in conference play. There's Amanda Dennis. Her story on how she ended up at Penn State is amazing. We'll have more on that as it looks like some rain coming down now. Good lofted ball, and there is Dennis. Let's remind everybody, so Amanda Dennis lives in San Diego. She shows up at a college cup that's being played in San Diego. North Carolina's there, Penn State's there, and she walks in. Remember, she's from San Diego. She doesn't know what Penn State is, right? She's 12 or 13 years old. She's drawn to the fans, goes over and sits by the Penn State fans, and then comes home and tells her mom, hey, I want to go to Penn State. Ironically, a few weeks later, she gets a note for an ID camp at Penn State, tells her mom that she want to go as this shot is there. They fly her all the way across the country, middle of the winter, from San Diego, and she says it's over. I'm going to Penn State. How awesome is that?
I love those meant-to-be stories where all the pieces just kind of fall into place, and she has absolutely made the most of her opportunity at Penn State.
See the rain coming down. When Amanda was actually breaking down that story with me face-to-face, I was just like, oh my goodness, that's incredible. Just the little tipping points in life make a difference, you know?
Absolutely.
Rio. You'll be seeing Rio playing professionally. I feel like that's a fair assumption. Taliaferry, you're talking about Mac Herman semifinalist, first team All-American, reigning Big Ten Defender of the Year. Rio is, simply put, the real deal.
She reminds me of Becky Sauerbrunn with how she plays. She's just very composed, even on the ball, not just defensively. Very intelligent with her composure and her decision making.
That's a solid comparison. Becky Sauerbrunn's Virginia Cavaliers actually beat Penn State this year, 2-1. And Virginia is the #1 team in the country right now. Dropped over left side, Carrie Abello. How about Erica Dombach saying if she could clone #2 right here, she would do it, because even on the roster, she's listed as a forward midfielder defender. You don't see that very often.
And it's for that reason. Even if she doesn't get anything done, she draws 2 or 3 players towards her every time.
That was Obello. Schlegel had it for a moment. Super excited to see Schlegel coming off knee injuries. Couple Penn State players off of knee injuries. Essentially, they have 11 new players when you consider those redshirt freshmen coming off knee surgeries, the incoming freshmen, and then, oh, by the way, we're going to send you an All-American as a transfer that'll have 2 years of eligibility left in coffee.
they've got a ton of the pieces. They're just still, like we talked about, trying to sort them, figure out what works best together. And as far back as I can remember, this is one of the youngest Penn State teams. I feel like you typically, as an underclassman at Penn State, regardless of how highly touted you were coming in, you kind of had to wait your turn. You had to learn the system and learn the ropes. And there's some very young talent on this field tonight.
Well, of course, the Big Ten Midfielder of the Year, Emily Ogle, has moved on. She's in the NWSL. Maddie Nolf is in the NWSL. Alina Ortega-Hirado, outstanding. Marissa Shiva, who scored the winner last year, she moved on. Charlotte Williams. Pretty much all those players also had U.S. under-20 and under-23 national team experience, which was part of the juggle the last few years for Penn State as well. And there is Erica Dombach, big-time coach, folks, and no surprise, she is on the short list for the Open USA job, but she was pretty clear with us. She's got two gorgeous little daughters with stunning blue eyes. Her husband's eyes are as blue as hers, and she said, that's my priority right now, college soccer and taking care of those girls, so I don't think I think she's taken herself out of the possibility of being the USA coach.
She sounded like she was pretty happy and grounded where she was.
Penn State usually pretty stingy on defense with Rio and Dennis back there. They've allowed 1 goal or fewer in each of their last 4 games. Rain coming down, you can hear it. Megan McClellan replacing Casey Murphy, and you didn't think you'd see a goalkeeper as good as Casey Murphy. McClellan's pretty good. Schlegel, 8 goals already. McClellan. Mona May. Neka Mona May. Played last year with her sister, the junior from Union, New Jersey. Schlegel. The little drop to Taliaferry. Tries to play it to herself. Sliding tackle coming in. Gabby Provenzano has moved back from her holding mid spot because the superstar from Jamaica, Chantel Swaby, is with the Jamaica full national team.
This is where Penn State just makes you uncomfortable when you have the ball. Their high press is so good, especially when they're organized. Once you get the ball and they've got you pinned on one side, they make it so difficult to get the ball out and switch the point of attack. Ali, so crafty, a little bit too far for Mona May. How about footwear with this kind of weather? Do you have some extra cleats ready to go, Jackie? What's the game plan there? We do. We used to call them Sixers. They're less amount of cleats, but they're a little bit higher, so you can really dig in and grip. Not the most comfortable, though, so I never wore them.
Penn State digging in here. Linehan making a good run. Schlegel dropping it to Abello. She wasn't kidding about that cloning thing, as you see Schlegel with the headband and the 8 goals. Coffee. Abello. And Sam Coffey, 12 goals and 14 assists last year, a Mac Hermann semifinalist, the ACC Midfielder of the Year. Pretty good soccer as well in the ACC, and now she's playing deeper, though, for Penn State. She's not in and around the 6 quite as much, and she's still got solid numbers, though, 4 goals and 4 assists.
She is just a box-to-box midfielder. Everything kind of goes through her. And she's so good with her spacing and where she puts herself on the field, off the ball especially. She just makes it so hard to defend her. Very intelligent with her movements.
High pressure from Penn State on that back line, a back line that's got some inexperience as Holland getting the start. Megan Katona also expected to play, the senior from San Antonio who's been great in practice, and Michael Neal said you should see her out there. Coffee just inside the 18, sent right back, handled there by Rutgers at the top of the 18. Rain is pounding down here at Jeffrey Field. Real. It's kind of going side to side as well. Can't be super comfortable.
With some of these players out for Rutgers, I think you'll see them play a little bit more conservatively in terms of their defensive shape, maybe a little bit lower block, not quite as high press as we might have seen them in other games, but look for them to transition quickly. Their ability to get forward, find Amira Ali's feet, and go is so impressive.
That was Almer who pushed it forward. Moname trying to find Amira Ali. Got to give Michael Neal a whole lot of credit, as we did the Rutgers-Wisconsin game, and it was one of those Friday-Sunday deals, and Wisconsin on the road had all the energy, and Michael Neal fessed up. He said there was such a difference in energy as Ali, she can take a shot from here. She'll drop it for an extra pass. First time, good idea. And that will go over the crossbar, but he flat out told us this week that they had a meeting and it was an open conversation. What did we do wrong? And perhaps they went too hard the day before. They made some adjustments. This is the kind of energy we're used to seeing from Ali and the entire team.
Absolutely. This Rutgers side is known for kind of their gritty blue-collar type of play, and we just didn't see that against Wisconsin. You're right, and so they talked about it, tried to look back at the week, see what they could have done differently, and we're seeing some positive start from this Rutgers side.
Coffee. Different level player. Good sliding tackle, loose. And ready for it is McClellan, who you can expect to be busy. McClellan, six shutouts already, second in the Big Ten.
This little triangle of Taliaferry, Coffee, and Schlegel is so dangerous. And then you see right here off of that little bounce back, Taliaferry gets it at the top of the box, tries to one-time it, but well done by McClellan.
Hard tackle, no whistle from the referee. One back Penn State, and when they win it, they go. Even their negative passes are effective as everybody still starts running downhill. Alpha backward pass, a bellow. Corner kick, Penn State.
Even this Penn State side, when we had them on against Michigan in their game a couple games ago, they just didn't look like themselves in terms of that energy, that high press system, and they look much more dangerous, much more energized so far against this Rutgers side.
Saw Swearell in front of McClellan and try to stay in the way, and they go to Swearell. McClellan, and then Taliaferry was getting ready to crank that, but a whistle before. Jackie, you played at Illinois, all Big Ten at Illinois. You played in some weather like this. What's your take on playing in rain? Particularly, looks like, rain coming down pretty solid here.
You know what? I was that physical blue-collar player, so this kind of evened the playing field skill-wise, so this was my type of weather all day.
Jackie Santa Catarina during her days with Janet Rayfield. It was interesting. I was looking at all that Sam Coffey did. She scored 100 goals in high school. And by the way, she played for Hernando Santa Maria, which somehow is related to you. Just they dropped a couple of the consonants.
My brothers were sometimes known as Santa Maria, Pinta, Nina. Throw all those in there.
100 goals in high school, though. That's pretty solid. Throw in here.
And to me, what she does is way more than the numbers. I mean, she just connects passes. She runs the show in terms of their pace. She's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and it was Coffey who pushed this pass forward to Linehan. Linehan handled there by McClellan. You have to be sharp. You got to be on point to get it by McClellan. As you see already, Arnov coming out. Jenna Sayers coming in. As Arnov got the start on that right wing, the freshman from New Hyde Park, New York. And they're going to make a change early. Michael Neo is here as we're not quite halfway through the first half. And Jenna Sayers, a senior from New Jersey. This Rutgers team started 7 players from New Jersey, and they got more coming off the bench. This one shot from distance and just missing as it goes behind the net. Dennis looks like she may have had that as the shot coming from Almer.
Almer picks this ball up right in the middle of the park, gets her head up, takes a few touches, finds an opportunity right at that left post and fires it, but just wide by Almer. Great shot.
Rain continuing to pour down here at Jeffrey Field. I mentioned those 7 New Jersey players for Rutgers. They play it over the top, trying to challenge the left back, Shea Holland, sophomore, getting to start from Toms River, New Jersey. This is trouble. Schlegel's got 8. She was trying to tie Wahlberg for the Big Ten lead, and I feel like, Jackie, give her that shot again and she's going to finish.
Absolutely. This ball kind of sneaks through here, though. It goes right under the foot. And she gets this ball, stays onside, gets it from her left to her right, and just can't get that inward spin from it on the inside of her right foot.
Give McClellan credit because she went out quickly and made that goal smaller, so that meant Schlegel was going to need to find that far post. Penn State almost scoring there. They have gone scoreless in the first half in 4 of their last 5 games. You're right. Coffey. She'll find you if you're open.
Her movement off the ball, she just does not stand still. She's constantly checking her shoulder. She's constantly finding little pockets of space to try and break lines. She's so fun to watch on and off the ball.
So Corey Dyke, the freshman from Littleton, Colorado, is kind of in that traditional 6, but Coffey's doing more of the Emily Ogle connector type role. As you always seem to find Emily Ogle in the right spot when she was a Penn State Nittany Lion. This is Abello! Penn State makes it 1-0. Carrie Abello with the goal.
Schlegel with this takeaway right inside the box. A little bit of a mistouch by Visco, but Abello calmly gets that on her left foot and slips that in the back of the net. Great vision by Schlegel, just to one-time that at an angle, right back to the top of the PK by Abello. Great goal by Penn State.
You said it. That pass from Schlegel, most people in that situation on the turnover, they're thinking touch, they're thinking angle. That was a perfect pass to Abello.
Great vision by Schlegel, great awareness.
So Schlegel's got 2 assists. Abello now with 4 goals to go with her 2 assists.
Scored by number 2, Carrie Abello.
So Rutgers, we've seen it here in tough weather, trying to build it out of the back. And Penn State, they're high pressure, they're attacking. Look at these just quick 1-2 touch passes, and they're on.
It's slick out there. It is fast. That ball's moving because of this rain. I think that was part of the issue with Visco's first touch at the top of the box, but well done by Penn State to put that away.
Bello, who has played more games at left back than she has at left wing, but Erica Dombach saying they need her offense, and once again, Erica Dombach on point.
Absolutely, and they just seem a little bit more free, more confident, more relaxed. Seem much more like Penn State than what we saw, like we said, against that Michigan team. They just seem very calm and composed and together, which is one of the pieces that I think was missing as well.
Coffee. A throw-in for Ellie Jean, the redshirt senior, also part of those U.S. youth teams. Her dad, a former baseball player. We'll have more on that. Coming into the game for Penn State, Jordan Caniff, who has started some games, and she'll replace Schlegel. Caniff, a freshman from California, Maryland, part of the Washington Spirit program, where former Big Tenor, Wisconsin Badger superstar Rose Lavelle plays. Speaking of Rose Lavelle's team, Wisconsin and Michigan to follow this one on BTN, as Rio drop it back to Caitlin Hayslip. As you heard already, you like the future with Hayslip back there.
I do. I think she's very similar to Real. I think we just got the broadcaster's jinx on her, but she's very similar to Real. She's got that composed mentality as well, and she is so good in the air. 50-50 balls in the box. She's great.
Better work from Rutgers to try to win it back, and hoping to spring Ali. Also making a good run there was Brittany LaPlante. LaPlante's got a goal and 3 assists. Ali 6 goals. Mona May 5 goals. Rutgers, normally known for their stingy defense. Remember, they've got 3 internationals out, including their entire left side of their defense. They've now allowed at least 1 first-half goal in each of their last 3 games. A 1-2 loss in overtime on a penalty kick. Swaby called for the penalty. Danny Rhodes with the finish, and then Maryland 1-2. Both games at home, as certainly the timing with scheduling not great, as Mike O'Neill talked about, those 2 home games, heartbreakers, and how do you fix it? Well, you lose 3 players international duty, and you got to go to Happy Valley to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Exactly, and I think that's the consistency theme that they are trying to look for, because every time they lose Swaby, they've got to lose Gabby Provenzano to go back into the center back position, so then their midfield is affected as well. So it's just kind of a domino effect in terms of who's playing where right now, and they just haven't been able to find that consistency, that gel.
Still raining here at Jeffrey Field. Coffee. If you're open, Coffee will find you. They elect to switch sides. Jean will have a chance to pop one in, and McClellan off her line so fast. That's one of the things I like about her. When she makes a decision, she comes out quick, and she's usually able to get there before the offense.
When she comes off her line, like you said, she is confident.
Nekamona May trying to find Amira Ali. Ali coming off 10 goals last year, 22 career goals and 10 assists. She's got 3 game-winning goals already, as only Wahlberg from Michigan State has 1 more. Little deflection, and handled there by Amanda Dennis. Dennis going to play it out of the back with Rio. Left back, Jean comes over. Dennis will go to the right side. Laura Suero, senior from Royersford, Pennsylvania. And with Suero in there holding it down, that allows Abello to move higher up, and that's the key, as we see so far. 1-0, and it's Abello with the goal.
I think she just brings so much to that left side. She draws attention. She opens up space and opportunities for all the players around her. And her and Coffee just move so well together. You add Ellie Jean to the equation on this left side, and it is just a dangerous, dangerous threesome on this left.
Let's take a look at the radar. We saw the heavy rain, and somewhere in all that mess, the translation is we're through the bad stuff, I think. That's the message with my meteorology degree right there.
It's much better than I could have done.
I had some help. Coffee. There's Swirl. Played in. Taliaferry. Deflected, and they'll say corner kick. So that'll give Coffee another opportunity.
Penn State is just getting so many numbers forward. They're getting so high up into their attacking third. It's making it so difficult for Rutgers to really get anything going or find any sort of rhythm.
Sam Coffey, Sleepy Hollow, New York. Second corner for the Nittany Lions. Rutgers still without a corner. McClellan will punch it out. Safety first for Rutgers. Jean will get it back to Coffey. Quick little touch. Linehan. Linehan staying with it. Right across, still loose. Even in tight quarters, Penn State handling it. Coffey almost able to find Taliaferry. And there was not a whole lot of room, yet Penn State got 5 or 6 touches in the 18.
In the 18, you don't see that many passes strung together typically in your attacking 18. But here you see Caniff gets a little ball and a cross. Abello gets a 1-2 touch, finds Coffey, and then just a missed pass into Taliaferry on that left side.
Coffey pulling the strings. Penn State looking very clean here in the first 30 minutes. Their touches have been good. Their pressure's been good. Possession. Taliaferry, they're winning second balls. Taliaferry. She will crank if she needs to. Caniff deflected. Rutgers needs to keep it. That was one thing Mike O'Neill said. If we win it, we got to keep the ball. Because Penn State can punish you with death by possession.
And just to get the defense in midfield a break. They've been playing a lot of defense in the last 20 or so, and you can see them start to fatigue a little bit. So even right here, put your foot on the ball, pass it back, get a little bit bigger to try and draw Penn State back. And they keep just mishitting it and putting themselves in bad positions.
Penn State looks hungry for that second goal. That's been key for Penn State. Taliaferry trying to get that second goal. Penn State, Jackie, they're unbeaten in their last 25 games. 24-0-1 when they scored 2. They almost got it here.
Coffey with this little one in. Taliaferry finds it at the top of the box, drives it in with her right, just can't get over it.
Subscribe to BTN Plus for live streaming of non-televised soccer events, next day on-demand game archives, and BTN's extensive library of classic games and original programs. Go to BTNplus.com or download the app. Available in the App Store and Google Play or on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Alongside Jackie Manny, Dean Linke with you, Jeffrey Field, University Park, Happy Valley, Penn State, 19 out of 25 Big Ten titles. Erica Dombach keeping it going now in her 13th season. Taliaferry, Coffey, just flying in, left foot, right foot, doesn't matter. She took that one with her left, may have hit Taliaferry. Looks like Taliaferry's down, so Rio will let it roll out of bounds.
I think she might have caught Taliaferry's. See this ball in, Taliaferry drops it back, and then Coffey comes through and lands right Taliaferry just lands on her right ankle. See that little ankle turn outwards.
We've been talking a lot about Coffee, but Taliaferry is every bit as technical, that combination, and every bit as important. She is a key cog in this Penn State team.
She really is. She's a huge loss, and not just in terms of her ability on the field, but she brings a huge leadership aspect as well. When we were talking to Erica Dombach, she talked about how her veterans need to step up. They've got all these pieces, maybe a little bit younger, but it's veterans' turns to try and step up and get this conference season back on track.
Frankie Taliaferry, she had 4 assists, never been done before at Penn State in one game against Michigan State. And her 7 assists lead the Big Ten. She also has 4 goals.
Her final pass ability, her vision when she's driving and breaking lines with the ball at her feet is so impressive.
She's going to try to run it off. Let's do a live look-in on Maryland and the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes with the 1-0 lead. Maryland coming off that impressive win over Rutgers at Rutgers. Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium, home to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Just a moment ago, I mentioned BTN Plus. You can find this one right there on BTN Plus. Buckeyes with the lead. Olivia Pettit, first goal this season. Would have guessed Fisher, but it's Pettit with the goal.
What a season Fisher's had.
So I'm definitely fired as a meteorologist as the rain looks like it's coming down even harder now. Throw in for the Scarlet Knights. As Amira Ali goes, simply put, this Rutgers team will go, and if you can shut down Amira Ali, that's not the only key, but particularly with missing so many players, you're in pretty good shape because she makes things happen.
And she just hasn't been anywhere near the goal a whole lot this game. They've really been pinned defensively, and like we talked about, when they do get the ball, they just haven't been able to hold it and build an attack to be able to get her involved.
Real. Taliaferry is back in there, so that's good. Jean trying to run it down is Caniff. Taliaferry. That was Brittany the Plant who tracked back to take it away, and now it's the Plant on it. They'll say off of Penn State, it'll stay with Rutgers. See those 5 Women's College Cup appearances, 24 NCAA appearances, and again, we're just 4 years removed from both these teams being in the College Cup. It was kind of a bummer that they had to play each other as they were on the same side of the tournament bracket, and Erica Dombach's team getting the win and then going on to win that national championship. Huge moment for a program that had been knocking at the door for quite some time to be able to hoist that national title.
Program, but also the whole conference in general.
Taliaferry, those 4 assists are first, but she's not all alone. Allie Krieger, who's could play tonight as well for the USA, another one of those World Cup stars, also had 4 assists in a game. She's a pretty good college player.
Just a little bit. We crossed over in college, and she played more of a holding mid role collegiately, and I also did, so we had quite a few battles. She was not Not fun to play against, I can tell you that.
She's still getting it done, and she was a key addition when you think about Kelly O'Hara going down in the World Cup. Late addition, as Joe Ellis said, you know what, I need some experience for tough moments, and it was Krieger who locked down that final game.
Such a cool story she's had.
Here we go, Amira Ali. Amira Ali, there's a player open on the left side. Ali's going to drop it. Perhaps a little too late. Back to Ali. Ali turning just a little quicker, and you wonder about the rain affecting the speed of the ball there, as Ali's pass needed to be quicker and the return pass needed to be there.
A little bit of a mistouch by Hayslip here. Ali gets on it, finds LaPlante on the left, tries to get it back, just not quite on the same page. Does a good job to keep that ball and get her body turned, but can't keep that ball close enough to get over it and send one on goal.
6 shots for Rutgers, kind of deceiving. Early on, Rutgers did have a couple opportunities. Feels like more Penn State, but 6 shots for Rutgers, 5 for Penn State. As Rutgers actually looking for their first goal against Penn State since 2016 when they won right here by a score of 2-0. Coffee always gives it up. Taliaferry. I'm not sure if that was a shot or not, Jack. I don't know if she meant to do that.
That ball was trying to go far post.
Yeah. Rio doesn't often make those long forays up the field, but when she does, you got to be ready.
Penn State just has so much time on the ball. One of the reasons why you can see Rio streak up the field with the ball at her feet, because nobody's really contesting, nobody's stepping up to challenge.
Bello, who scored the goal, has got time to wave to some friends and family.
She's got a flip throw typically, but I think it's going to be too wet for her today to see it.
Rain started just as we started this game, and it has not stopped. But as we showed you with that impressive radar, the word is we're through the worst of it. And perhaps before this game's over, the rain will go away, and that'll be less of a factor. You hope that, which is often the case, that there's extra jerseys ready, because that could be key for a halftime change.
Got a shoe off on the field as well. All sorts of different elements when it's raining this hard.
Nothing like putting that wet sock back into that wet shoe, right? How about that up-close look? Rain still pounding down, so you're right, Abello. See what her decision will be. I think the conditions will prevent a flip. Bello, get it back. She's got the only goal so far with 8 minutes remaining. It's 1-0. Looking for the offside call against Rachel Wasserman, and they will get it. The sophomore from Dallas, Texas. There's the goal scorer, Abello. 2 times Penn State. Offside. Megan McClellan from Kearney, New Jersey. Same hometown as their head coach, Mike O'Neill. Amira Ali can't get there in time as Hayslip, sophomore from Munster, Indiana, knocks it out of bounds. All right, Mike O'Neill going to go back to his bench as Dana Goldstein, the junior from Medford, New Jersey, Shawnee High School. Mentioned that New Jersey connection. You think about Mike O'Neill, who was longtime assistant for Glenn Crooks 5 seasons, 5 NCAAs. You got to figure Rutgers, if they can get everybody back and healthy, will make another one. But Mike O'Neill also, by the way, coached and played a role in the development of Carly Lloyd, Tobin Heath, Heather O'Reilly. 3 of the all-time greatest to ever wear the USA uniform.
Absolutely, and one of my other favorite things that we talked about with him on the call was that he wanted to try and make it cool to stay home and go to college. They wanted to try and keep the best players in New Jersey at Rutgers, and I think they've done such a good job of that, and they started it with Carly Lloyd.
Yeah, and he talked about how, of course, Heather O'Reilly played for the Tar Heels, but based out of New Jersey, she's now an assistant coach for the Tar Heels and still playing pro. She would come and train with Rutgers after she was out of college and still making all those caps for the USA, over 230. And she was kind of part of the Rutgers system there a little bit, at least in the sense of being around and being visible. And that was because of her great admiration for Mike O'Neill, which is saying a lot.
Absolutely, and he's had a huge impact on the PDA club program out east, and she was a big part of that, so there's a big tie-in there. Tobin Heath, same thing. Played against her a bunch in club with a Clip Select. It's another one that was not fun to play against.
See Megan Ryan Nemser, who played at Rutgers, graduated in 2007, her 12th season. She's a key part of the staff. Lubos Hansen, Rich Alberta, the coaching staff for Rutgers, who find themselves down 1-0. Carrie Abello, the only goal so far, her 4th of the season. Ellie Schlegel adds her 2nd assist to go with her team-high 8 goals. And that's where we are, 1-0 with 4:50 remaining here in the first. Coffey got a touch on it. Credit to Taylor Almer, one of the captains, for sticking with it there, Jackie.
She's one of the girls on this team who I think offensively and defensively can get this Rutgers team kind of turned around.
Coffey with a brilliant tackle, stood right up and started the attack. She wins it, and there goes the attack.
She just does it all for this Penn State side. Great little sliding tackle to break up that attack from Rutgers.
Here she is again, Coffey, taking a shot on McClellan.
She just does so many things that don't necessarily add or pad her stats. She's been such a huge, quick, impactful player for this Penn State side.
A lot of freshmen on this Penn State team. Pushing it forward now down the right side with just quick passes again. Get it back to Coffey. Coffey. Remember, it doesn't matter what foot, and I think Coffey may earn a corner kick all by herself right there.
Corner kick, Penn State.
How about Erica Dombach telling us, she's like, got all these freshmen, so that's kind of my excuse. She even said it, but then she said, you know what, I was watching the Indiana men on the Big Ten Network. They had 7 freshmen out there at one time, and they're not playing like freshmen, so we need to not play like freshmen. Good to know she's watching BTN. Sent in and across. Even the men, as this one is cleared. Coffey. What are you guessing the tracker on her for mileage? What do you put that number at?
It's unbelievable. I would love to see the GPS on her after a game.
This time she ran into Almer, a rare turnover from Coffey as Moname.
We've talked a ton about Coffey, but I really do love how Corey Dyke plays as well. She is a lot like Emily Ogle in terms of how she screens the line, a little bit more defensive-minded, but she's one that breaks up the attack as well.
Lynch with the throw-in, as you see Megan Katona getting in. thought she might even start. She was ready to go. She has been patient, waiting for her opportunity, and she'll get a chance here to close out this first half for Michael Neal. Hayslip. Good example of what Jackie Manning was talking about. Dyke put herself in a good spot for a possible outlet. They elected to go the other way. Abello with the goal in the 22nd minute. That's what we have right now, 1-0. Penn State, the home team, on top of Rutgers.
Abello, who looks like she got placed back into that back line on the left side.
Excellent catch, Abello. That could mean that Jean is over on the right side. I think she might be. Yep, Jean on the right side now.
Yep.
Only a true holding mid could spot that. Wasserman. Rachel Wasserman. Amira Ali. Shea Holland. She got the call with Wiltshire, who has joined Swaby. Swaby was always a regular, but give Wiltshire credit for being recognized by the full Jamaican national team. Here's Abello. Final seconds counting down, dropping it in. Good hustle, but not quite enough as Myers can't run it down. Through 45 minutes, though, Carrie Abello with the only goal, and it's 1-0 Penn State.
I think Penn State looks like Penn State again. They're getting up, they're high pressing. They're just doing a really good job of keeping possession, sending their outside backs into the attack. I think they look great.
So a good one, as it always is. Penn State and Rutgers. We're pleased to be joined now by Mike O'Neill, the top man for Rutgers. And Mike, for sure the energy was there. Good effort from your team. In fact, one time you had more shots than Penn State. So how do you feel about the first 45, Coach?
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, early on we were picking off balls and getting opportunities. Just a mentality when we have opportunities, that are a mentality to join, to continue to have numbers and create better opportunities is important. And then it comes to us dealing with the moments. And when we have to deal with the moments, now we've got to get it, we've got to possess, because we can't keep defending. So sometimes when we're organized defensively, our players need to get off and again be possession options with the idea of seeing the whole field. So we've got to see, we're on one side, the opportunity to change the point and go the other way is on, but we need to be play with a bit more courage and see that.
I know Provenzano is on the field still, but how much of a difference does it make not having her in that holding mid-roll?
Yeah, it's look, we are here. She's in the back. We can't worry about that. And Gabby's a very versatile player for us. And whether she's in the midfield or she's in the back, she's going to do a great job.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck in the second half. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
All right, Michael Neal, 6-year head coach for Rutgers. His team trails, though, Penn State by a score of 1-0. We back with more here from halftime at Happy Valley. Penn State on top of Rutgers by 1. Stay with us right here on the Big Ten Network for Big Ten Women's Soccer. Welcome back to Jeffrey Field. Teams are out there. Ton of rain here. It's starting to slow down a little bit as you see Kaylee Reel, the focus of our State Farm State of Success, 89th career game, leads the NCAA. She's been an outstanding player for Erica Dombach in her 13th season. Kind enough to join us. And Erica, I'll start with the easy one because you said you wanted to clone Carrie Abello. She showed us why tonight. A great goal by her.
Yeah, she's been literally all over the field. Obviously, we played her in the midfield. We played her in the back, but she's a threat from anywhere she plays, and she's just been consistent as ever again tonight.
Talk a little bit about just the general positives in that first half.
Well, overall, I think in the conditions, you just have to work, and you got to be blue collar, and you got to get down. And I think we did a better job of it this weekend or tonight than we did last weekend. But we still have another level in us, and our counter press obviously created the goal scoring opportunity, and I think we can create even more moments out of that, out of what some would consider a failed attack. But go again, and we keep pressing upon our players that they just need to keep going and keep pressing these guys.
Indeed, in tough conditions, your team looks super sharp. Erica, thanks so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Erica Dombach. Coffee has just been all over the field as well. So dynamic. What a fantastic transfer addition, Sam Coffey.
I know we've talked about her a ton, but she's just so fun to watch. From her movements, from where she takes herself on her first touch, her creativity and her attack, she's the real deal.
Alongside Jackie Manny, Dean Linke, great to be with you here on the Big Ten Network. Coming up right after this one, a battle for first place in conference play. Michigan 3-0-1, Wisconsin 3-0. Penn State trying to improve to 3-1. Chase down their 20th Big Ten regular season title. They've won 19 in 25 years. Coffey has it. Schlegel's back in there. Jean. Handled by Rutgers, but it'll be a throw-in for Jean and the Penn State Nittany Lions. We just told you, coming up after this one, number 24, Michigan at number 13, Wisconsin. As the Wolverines in town to take on Paula Wilkins and the Badgers. Sent across. Badgers, unfortunately, without Pickett, but it seems like those youngsters have stepped up in support of Pickett's absence, and they've been great.
Maya Sella stepped up into that holding mid-roll for Victoria Pickett, and she's also incredibly fun to watch. But those two teams, they both like to knock the ball around. They both like to have it in possession, and I think that game's going to be a really fun one to watch tonight.
Penn State again in their home blues, Rutgers in their visiting whites. Downpour for almost the entire first half, but we think it's behind us here as they play it forward. Holland grabbing the arm there to slow down Linehan. It'll bounce up and go off of Laura Suero.
What a great ball in by Corey Dyke as well. Huge diagonal ball into Linehan's run.
It's the first road conference matchup of the year for Rutgers. They had 3 in a row. They beat Stephanie Golan's Minnesota team, who was also dealing with the loss of a ton of players after winning the Big Ten tournament a year ago, knocking off this Penn State team. That one went to penalty kicks. Coffey somehow was able to get it through to Abello. Played forward, Dyke to Schlegel. Schlegel! Not on frame. Rutgers, even their away games so far have been close to home. This is just their second time out of the great state of New Jersey. As Coffey comes over.
Come on, ladies, plug in. Feet are moving.
Coffey does it all. Takes free kicks, corner kicks. Schlegel, fourth corner for Penn State. They elect to go short this time. Linehan, right back to Coffey. Coffey driven in. Forces McClellan with both hands to punch it out.
Great clearance by McClellan. That's exactly what you want, is that ball to go up and out into the opposite direction, and that ball was cleared perfectly.
Abello.
Shoulders out.
There Erica Dombach talking about Abello being everywhere. There she is, staying with it. Deflected off. Abello will be a throw-in. Jackie, big picture, we saw the standings there. Now you've even got Maryland playing good soccer. And we talk about it all the time. I love seeing you on the Women's Sports Report trying to stay trendy and stay with the hot teams, but it's going to be impossible this year. It's just wide open.
It really is. I mean, talking about Penn State and Rutgers being in the middle of the pack and Michigan, Wisconsin being at the top, Northwestern, who we thought was going to have more of a building year after all the losses that they had to figure out. And it's early. It's definitely early, but I'm excited to see how this season goes. It is always down to the wire in terms of who's making those Big Ten tournament spots, and I think this year is going to be even more exciting when it comes down to it.
Reminding you that the last 2 years, the Big Ten has also sent a team that didn't make the Big Ten tournament to the NCAA tournament, just to give you another glimpse into the quality of this conference. Coffee. Abello. Taliaferry shows Abello. Looked like she was trying to find Linehan wearing that 12 jersey.
I feel like we've kind of been harping on, what's going on with Penn State, what's going on with Rutgers, but you have to give credit to Wisconsin and Michigan and some of these other teams because they are playing really good soccer. When Michigan played Penn State, they went after them. It wasn't a low bunker counter type of situation game. They went after them. They played. They possessed. It was a fun game to watch, both those teams.
Yeah, they scored early as well and hung on, and then went to Columbus a few days later and got another win. And even Maryland going into Rutgers getting a win.
Great tackle there by Shea Holland on the left.
Mona May stays with it. And all the way back is Suero. Love that show. Especially during field hockey and volleyball season, women's soccer season.
Especially Big Ten volleyball. Woof. Crazy fun to watch.
Thumbs up there from Erica Dombach as you see Maddie Myers is going to come in. We'll see what kind of adjustments they make on who's going to go next to Rio. If they change positions around, they do. Suero is now going back there where Hayslip was.
Bello back at that left back spot again.
Yep, and Jean at the right back. Well done, Jackie. Little touch there. Doesn't need much, Ali doesn't. Just a little moment. Mona May. Handled by Dyke, and Dyke will clear it. Rutgers will have Northwestern on Sunday. Northwestern's won 2 in a row, and then they go on the road for Iowa and Nebraska. Penn State with that brutal non-conference schedule. They'll have 3 in a row on the road, Ohio State, Indiana, and Purdue. Indiana with a new coach that won't take long for them to be in the mix as well. Penn State quickly in transition. Too far ahead of Myers, who came on for the injured Hayslip as Penn State juggled their formation, or players anyway, kept the same formation.
So a little bit of that slick surface as well on that ball in.
Jean, as we told you earlier, her father Domingo started with the Chicago White Sox, then actually pitched for the New York Yankees in 1993 at a 4.46 ERA. Amira Ali.
She really has the ability to make something out of nothing. So the more that she can get on the ball in the offensive third for Rutgers, the more opportunities, the more dangerous they're going to be. And they've definitely had way more offense going in this second half. We've seen them in this side of the field. They've been stringing a couple more passes together, actually finding some width and some possession.
Rutgers won their first 5 games before tying Princeton. Punched out of there by Dennis, kept alive by Amira Ali. And Rutgers, after that tie with Princeton, they beat Delaware and beat Minnesota, but they come in on a 2-game losing streak. Here's Amira Ali. Shot from distance. Jackie, Rutgers has not lost 3 straight conference games since 2014, and that was also the last time they lost more than 2 league games in a year. They went 8-4-1, which is still a solid record in Big Ten play.
Absolutely. Like we talked about, the parity of this conference is just pretty impressive, and every year I feel like it's something that we're talking about and something that's getting even better.
Good run down the left side. Linehan. Peyton Linehan, a freshman from Douglas, Mass. Played with the FC Stars. Jean. For me, Jean at that right back or left back looks like a next level player as well.
Her ability to get up and attack down that flank and be an offensive presence as well as defensive is pretty outstanding, to say the least.
Real. Bello. Right now, Penn State just kind of taking what Rutgers is giving them, and an unforced error there. Cleaned up by Rutgers as it's Almer. Taylor Almer, the senior. She'll be counted on for a little extra leadership juice without Swayze out there.
Rutgers doing so much better. They're holding that same confrontation line, but once that ball crosses in, they're doing such a better job at getting pressure on the ball, making and creating turnovers for Penn State.
So Schlegel's going to come out. Hayslip, who we saw that tough fall, back in there, so that's great to see. Sent in quickly there by Myers. Maddie Myers wears that number 10 jersey. Redshirt freshman from Grand Rapids, Michigan, part of the Michigan Hawks system. Taliaferry. Coffee. Good ball through. Staying with it there was Linehan. Coffee wins it. You know the kind of player I'm talking about, a player that when she has the ball, you get excited. Taliaferry's one, so is Coffee. Taliaferry. Picked up by Jean. Remember, right side, left side, it doesn't matter for Jean. That long stride ability to go up the flanks reminds me of Jaylene Hinkle, who's one of the best outside backs in NWSL, former Texas Tech star. two teams. It's always tight, no matter who's there, who's on international duty, because Penn State was dealing with that the last couple of years, particularly during the U20 World Cup year. But 9 of the last 11 matchups between these two teams have been decided by a single goal or less. Bello. Swirl.
Rutgers doing so much better at staying patient, staying compact, keeping their lines tight, trying to create some turnovers for Penn State.
Provenzano, one of the captains, normally the holding mid, dropped into center back duty with the absence to Swaby, Chantel Swaby, who will get some votes for all Big Ten.
Good job, Shay.
Megan Katona. She played a few minutes in the first half. She'll get an extended run here. Shay Holland will go out for Katona. Sent in by Linehan, handled by McClellan.
Katona replaces number 71, Shay Holland.
Rio. Hayslip back in at right center back, and this is Caitlin Hayslip on it. If you're Penn State, 1-0 lead, you're still playing, but you also kind of got to take what Rutgers is going to give you. And right now, if they want to play with it around the back, they can, because they've got the 1-0 lead. Rutgers, you get the feeling, will have to show some urgency here pretty quick. You know it's coming.
Exactly. At some point, Rutgers is going to have to start high pressing if they continue to stay down a goal.
Came in talking about as Amira Ali goes, Rutgers goes. However, all 7 we'll get back to that one. Here is Maddie Myers. Taliaferry. Taliaferry. He's got Coffee on her right. Taliaferry takes the shot. Taliaferry.
Love the little triangle play that this offense can have for Penn State between Taliaferry, Coffee, Abello. I think it just can be so dangerous. Schlegel got a ton of weapons up top.
Don't forget, coming up after this one, top 25 matchup, Big Ten women's soccer, Michigan. 3-0-1, Wisconsin 3-0 in conference play. Michael Neal going to make some more changes. Trying to find an answer here. Arnov going to come off. Jenna Sayers going to come back in. Sayers is senior. Oak Crest High School in New Jersey. Katona, also a senior, getting a chance here to step up. Michael Neal talking a lot about some players that have been loyal to the program even when they're not playing a ton. Mona May. Squeeze all the way back over to LaPlante. Brittany LaPlante, good little step over. Jean stays with her. Jean. Good move by LaPlante. LaPlante is in and in. They've tied it. LaPlante spinning 2 players, including the talented Jean. And Rutgers has tied it. Second goal of the season for LaPlante.
What a cheeky little move to get herself free in the box. Oneme sends this ball in. LaPlante gets on the end of it, way outside the box, decides to go for it herself. You think that she's got it covered. There's two Penn State defenders on her and just pulls this ball back, splits the defenders, sees the near post open, and slots that ball home. What a great individual effort by Brittany LaPlante for Rutgers.
You beat Jean, you beat Rio, you get a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And this one is tied at 1. And Rutgers now running downhill. Little heavy touch coming that time from Almer. Who saw that coming? Jean, one of the best outside backs, and then Rio, flat out an All-American, and LaPlante left them both in the dust.
Absolutely. What a great finish. Great effort by LaPlante. A little bit of a miscommunication from the Penn State defenders resulted in that little slip from Brittany LaPlante. Wow, what a finish.
Those are two redshirt seniors right there for Penn State. As LaPlante staying with it. A senior from Queensbury, New York. Queensbury High School has tied this one in a game that felt like it was going one-way traffic there for a little bit.
Definitely felt Rutgers start to pick up the momentum. They had a little bit more of the ball in the second half, but you're right, Penn State has had this game.
LaPlante's first Big Ten goal since 2017 at Indiana. Taliaferry knocked out of bounds there by Lynch. Off the throw-in, Penn State. Rutgers dropping just a little bit. Coffey's going to take a shot, and it's deflected. It'll be another corner kick for Penn State.
We'll see what this Penn State team does. They lost a little bit of their domination in terms of that left flank side, especially when Hayslip was out and Abello had to come back into the 4-back for Penn State. So we'll see what they start to bring offensively now that Abello is back up higher on the field.
Coffey. Solid ball. Heading it down was Hayslip, but not on frame. No issue for McClellan. Plant to Ali. Ali deflected. So let me get back to, I started talking about Ali earlier because we always say everything goes through her. But Rutgers, ironically, is 9-0-1 in LaPlante's career. Not Ali, LaPlante's career when she scores a goal. 9-0-1 when LaPlante gets it done. So we might need to rethink.
Not a bad stat to have.
Yeah. Number 44 with the goal.
She's got a great story, too. Battled injuries. Finally healthy right now, knock on wood. It's good to see her back and making an impact on the field for Rutgers.
Yeah, tough injuries, right? The compartment syndrome, that is tough to deal with.
I had it in both my shins. It is not fun.
Oh. Linehan. 3 players over there along with Allison Lynch. Knock it out of bounds. Good run from Linehan.
Penn State substitutions, number 34, Ashley Schlegel returns, replacing number 12, Peyton Linehan.
Linehan is going to go off, and Allie Schlegel, with those 8 goals, is going to come back in there.
Frankie Taliaferry. That's Kenneth for Taliaferry.
So Linehan on the bench, Schlegel off the bench. Coffey. Kicked in the air. Squared. Coffee. Left foot. Deflected. Finally cleared. McClellan directing traffic, telling her defender, and you can see Michael Neal saying we got a player down.
Provenzano down later in the play, but a huge defensive block by Rutgers as well. The shot comes from Sam Coffey's left foot. Fires it. Great defensive stop by Visco. Keeps her arm down, turns. Well done by Rutgers' Amanda Visco. Provenzano comes through here and in late. Caniff comes through with her body. She just had momentum going, couldn't stop. Catches Provenzano on the upswing.
Clock starts up again. We've had multiple delays because of injuries where the training staff has been out to deal with the players. Hard tackle by Almer. Mira Ali behind Almer. Look at Coffey, gets a little touch. And here comes Penn State. Caniff got a touch. Coffey wants it back. What a trap. Coffey now. Schlegel. Schlegel. Little fall. Dyke is there. Her pass not there. Sam Coffey, every single touch, tackle, so efficient with the ball.
So efficient. You just feel like she sees the game one step ahead of everybody else. Constantly at the half turn, wants to go at people on the dribble.
9 of the last 11, 1-goal games or less. Here we are again, tied at 1. A little move here by Carrie Abello. And Abello will earn the corner kick.
Corner kick, Penn State.
Carrie Abello, goal in the first half for Penn State. Rutgers, though, has answered the goal from Brittany LaPlante. Coffey taking the corner for Penn State. Sam Coffey, 20 minutes remaining here in regulation. Coffey, good ball. Schlegel was there, so was Reel. Out of bounds by McClellan, yet another corner kick. In case you were wondering, there's never been a 1-1 draw between Rutgers and Penn State in their first 20 meetings, not once.
Rivalry always brings a little something special to it. It can't end in a tie.
Coffey. McClellan. Mira Ali, so strong. Soft feet as well. Complete package.
I feel like every year she's just gotten cleaner on the ball, more technical.
She's about game winners, so this one gets later, and she's got an opportunity to finish it. She will, as a yellow card issued here on the goal scorer, Abello.
Yellow card is set. Penn State number 2, Carrie Abello.
Amir Ali, if they can find her here, she's taken a shot in her last 28 games in 51 of 52 career outings, including this one. Tackle by Hayslip. Now Coffey. Rutgers sends it long. Swearell did well to battle Moname and win it. Penn State sending numbers forward. Caniff made a good run, so did Schlegel. They'll hang on to it for a moment.
Well done by Rutgers to get numbers behind the ball, get organized again.
Shot from distance, no problem. Last year, another exciting 1-0 game. Let's take a look back.
Marissa Shiva is the game winner here. What a ball by Frankie Taliaferry for that run outside to in by Shiva. Stays on side and then finishes it with her left foot for the game winner against Rutgers.
Shiva, who has graduated along with Maddie Knopf, Alina Ortega-Herrada, Emily Ogle, Charlotte Williams, big-time players. As Penn State getting the win last year, October 14th, under obviously better weather conditions, right? Bright day. If you're just joining us, it was pouring rain the entire first half, non-stop. Second half, the rain has gone away, but the field conditions are indeed slick. Amir Ali will get a break maybe for 5 or 6 minutes, and then she'll come back in as Julia Arnov into the game, freshman from New Hyde Park, New York. Under 17 minutes remaining in this one. Don't forget, battle for first place in the Big Ten will follow. Hard tackle by Coffey.
Hard tackle here. Coffey trying to get them win this ball back. Steps in, gets the ball, nicks her though. Hard landing by Jenna Sayers.
Swing and a miss. And Moname ready to pounce as the clearance from Hayslip failed, and Moname almost made him pay, but shot not close for number 15. Amir Ali, I think her break was less than 60 seconds.
Substitution Rutgers replacing number 21, Jenna Sayers.
There's a tactical change from that sub.
Ali back in, Sayers will come out. I was close on the 7-minute break. Not really. Taliaferry. Caniff. Bellows got one. Boy, Coffey was open. Oh my, somehow Bello almost snuck that one in on a tough angle. It'll be a corner kick for Penn State.
Bello gets this ball wide on the left. Fancy little footwork, gets herself end line, tries to get that ball across.
Penn State hustling down to take a quick corner. As you see, they've got the urgency now.
Just don't quite look as together in this second half, Penn State. Don't have a lot of those number up opportunities like you saw a lot in the first half. See if they can start to wrap their outside backs up. That was a lot of what was going right for them in that first half. They just had so many layers to their offense.
Turning with it. Schlegel drops it back to Coffey. Coffey gets pushed. Penn State and the fans looking for a penalty. Referee says no. Amira Ali had time to hang on to it. Dyke, good ball forward to Caniff, who played it over. Now it's on the right side. Taliaferry. Taliaferry, you cannot dive in on Taliaferry. She'll go right around you. Taliaferry, 2 players on her now. And that's a good call right there. She split the 2 defenders. Didn't fall, but same difference as she earns the free kick.
Taliaferry down this right side, sees that she's got 2 on her, finds that little gap, plays a well-weighted ball. And then here's that Coffee chance. Little let through by Schlegel. Well done by Rutgers defensively, though. Allison Lynch so well to keep Coffee off that ball.
Coffey's over it now. We'll see who the targets are for Coffey. Comes into the game with 4 goals and 4 assists. Kaylee Reel, center back, has come forward.
Slip, watch for her in the box as well.
Coffey away from McClellan. Headed first, though, by Rutgers. Penn State will chase it down. Under 13 minutes remaining. Jean. Arnov. Moname. 12 minutes, 22 seconds remaining. There's Moname. We told you about all these tough games as Katona's going to come out for Nicole Binkley. 8 of the first 20 matchups between Rutgers and Penn State have gone to overtime. However, only 1 of them have been played here at Jeffrey Field in University Park. Moname has had a little more presence here in the second half, particularly defensively as well, winning balls. You see Moname on the left, Amira Ali, and the goal scorer LaPlante. Dyke will try to switch it over to the right side. Pretty good ball here, finding Taliaferry. Taliaferry goes around Holland. Assistance there coming from the normal holding mid and Gabby Provenzano, the junior captain.
General, as Mike O'Neill likes to refer to her.
Peyton Linehan back in. Caniff out here now. Under 11 minutes remaining. Can we find a winner in regulation? Taliaferry. Wonderful defensive work there by Julia Arnov to get in front of Taliaferry. One back by Penn State, but handled by McClellan. Don't forget, coming up after this one, top 25 matchup in a battle for first place in the Big Ten. Number 24, Michigan, at number 13, Wisconsin. Rutgers won it for a moment. LaPlante was trying to thread the needle there to Amira Ali. Taliaferry. Taliaferry. Coffey, left foot. Good sliding tackle and goes off of Coffey. And looks like the referee was about concussion protocol. Now the referee's saying once it hits the head, they got it.
Catches this deflection right back into her face. You'll see this shot goes to ground, and then this ball comes right back into Coffey.
So because of the very strict and proper safety protocol, anytime the referee deems potential concussion. That's why she quickly said, "We got to stop it." When I saw that replay, it looked like it may have even hit her arm, not her head.
Penn State had a pretty big opportunity right after that call, which is why you see some of the arms up in the air from Penn State side.
Still a lot of time left in this one. 9:59. Erica Dombach. You see the sportsmanship there, just making sure that Rutgers was going to return it back to Penn State, and they did. Penn State double-digit shot attempts yet again, 9 times this season. And when they get double-digit shots, they're 6-1-1 this year. Right now, they find themselves tied. Taliaferry.
Taliaferry's been on the ball a ton in this second half.
Rio. Taliaferry. Schlegel. Bellow to Jean. Yet another corner kick. Corner kick, Penn State. 8th corner kick of the game for the Nittany Lions.
And that's when Penn State is at their best, when Ellie Jean gets forward into the attack, when they've got numbers up around the ball. The game's been pretty stretched in the second half, and we haven't seen a ton of those opportunities for Penn State.
Coffee. Wonder if one can squirt loose for Schlegel, who is so good in and around the 6. It's loose. McClellan before Taliaferry can get there. Nice shield by the Rutgers team in front of their sophomore goalkeeper, who you got to figure when she's done will have Casey Murphy-like numbers. Mira Ali. Swirl comes over, but a whistle first. Taliaferry. Feels like there's a goal still left here in these final 8 minutes. Just what it feels like, Jackie.
I agree, and like we talked about, these two teams, they don't tie. We'll see somebody find that momentum, somebody find that burst and put one home.
Suero. Hayslip. Everybody's past midfield except Hayslip and her goalkeeper, Dennis. Jean. Touch lets her down, but bailed out. It'll be a throw in for Jean and Penn State. There's Schlegel. Schlegel hasn't scored, but her pass to Abello, brilliant. She got the assist. Coffee knocked away there by Almer. Almer's had a good game. Dyke, good little move, good shot, but right to McClellan. Love that move. Love the touch and good idea to take a shot on frame, particularly with a wet, slick ball.
So young, but another one that just has so much composure with the ball at her feet. Opens up her hips, is able to take that off of a one-touch. Just not quite enough on that right-footed shot.
Shots are 12-8 in favor of Penn State. At one point, it was Rutgers 6, Penn State 5.
Rutgers substitution number 21.
Rutgers, Jenna Sayers going to come back in. Mona May going to come out. check that because it looked like Arnov came out. High press from Schlegel, but yeah, Monime stayed in, so it's Arnov that went out. Amira Ali, here's a good little touch. Rutgers, Dennis is out, and Rutgers has snuck one in off the bench moments ago, and Jenna Sayers has made it 2-1 Rutgers.
A great ball to start this by Amira Ali. She tracked back, won the ball, played this ball in. You see this ball come from deep. A little turnover, Amira Ali gets her head up, plays this ball in, and then Jenna Sayers with this diagonal run, LaPlante, perfectly weighted ball in between the lines for Penn State, and Sayers with that perfect touch. Right past Dennis, catches her off of her line, inside of her foot, bends it around Dennis. Great finish by Jenna Sayers.
She just came on, just got into the game for Arnov, and LaPlante, phenomenal service.
Great, well-timed run by Sayers. Perfectly weighted ball in by LaPlante, but this Penn State team is going to come out firing in these last 5 minutes. This game is going to go wide open.
You know it. Second career goal, though, for Jenna Sayers, the senior. This is just her 8th game. She doesn't even play every game. She just came on and ran perfectly. What a ball, though, from LaPlante.
Perfect ball by LaPlante, right in between the center backs. Jenna Sayers times her run, stays on side.
Last time Sayers scored was a year ago in a 2-2 tie versus LaSalle. What a time to get her first Big Ten goal in Happy Valley against a Penn State team that routinely wins the regular season 19 out of 25 times. And in a game that felt like with Coffey and Taliaferry and Schlegel and that solid defense at Penn State, it felt like pretty comfortable. Did it not? And now Rutgers has a 2-1 lead.
Penn State had what felt like a pretty tight grab on this game. Looked good in possession, had a ton of opportunities. Rutgers came back. They had some of it, found a little bit more momentum, had the ball more, but Penn State just can't seem to get that final third rhythm going.
Coffey to tie it. Oh, and she had an opening. That may have gone in if it was on frame, but it was over the crossbar.
Easy to see from our stance, but it looked like if she could get that down and dip at the end just a bit, that would have been in the back of the net.
Jenna Sayers, just her 5th career point. Came off the bench, replacing Arnov, first touch. Perfect pass from LaPlante. And now Rutgers, after losing 2 straight at home, have a chance to knock off the mighty Penn State Nittany Lions if they can survive this final 3:55.
Could end up being a pretty pivotal point because like we talked about, both these teams trying to get their season back on track. We talked about the parity of the league, how quick this conference goes. It could be a huge point, huge turning point for Rutgers.
Dyke plays it in. Schlegel is there. Schlegel with those 8 goals. One back here by Caniff. Now Rutgers. Rutgers is going to need a little bit of possession here. 3 minutes and 20 seconds still. A lot of soccer for this talented Penn State team. Is Real making a run forward. Real, so strong, keeps possession. Got a bunny rabbit making an appearance on the field. Corner kick. Crossed, And it's in! Look at that! McClellan had a player in front. Schlegel was there. McClellan thought maybe some interference. You can see her complaining. Schlegel may have got a touch on it, or it may have just gone in, but it doesn't matter. It's 2-2.
Quick corner by Penn State. You see the Rutgers players still trying to get organized in the box. Abello whips this in with her left foot. Looks like it goes off the fingertips of McClellan. See Schlegel gets herself in a great position right in front of McClellan, makes it difficult for her to see the ball, get up off the ground and clear this. And
She's
this ball comes
onside.
in.
I think it's Abello.
I agree. Schlegel did not touch that. I think that's an Abello goal. But regardless, Schlegel does a great job to get in front of her, cancel out the goalkeeper, and make it really difficult for McClellan to get on the ball. I think that was a fair challenge by Schlegel and McClellan.
Mike O'Neill pretty fired up. I will say this, and unfortunately Mike O'Neill does not have the same viewpoint, and I think they probably checked it because they do video on goals and discipline. And based on the timing from the goal to where they got out, I think they were checking it. And I think they got it right because first of all, I felt like Schlegel was onside for one, and I don't feel like her body ever touched the goalkeeper.
I think it was a pretty clean challenge by Schlegel.
So now Rutgers, they're under 4 minutes from getting this huge win. Now we're tied, 2:33 remaining. Sayers got one! This one right to Dennis. Watch Penn State go for it here. 2:20 remaining. At the moment, they've given the goal to, there's a little touch there, a whistle beforehand though. It goes in off the foot of Linehan, but they'll have a whistle beforehand.
Here's that challenge between Schlegel and McClellan again. Ball gets placed in by Abello. I think Schlegel goes straight up for that.
Moname, Ali, Sayers. Ali's got to find an open pocket. Moname, good dummy, little turn. No power. LaPlante, that was some good passing by Rutgers. Going the other way. Abello, now it's saying second goal tonight, as we don't think Schlegel touched it. Flick from Ali. Coffee.
This game just so wide open, so back and forth.
Out of bounds, it'll come back to Rutgers. Abello, goal in the first half, and there's some debate on whether it's going to be Abello or Schlegel.
This way. Gotta go big. One more. There you go.
Officially on Stat Broadcast, they're still listing Schlegel, but we'll see. Here's Coffee. Coffee to try to win it in the final seconds. Coffee takes the shot. Saved by McClellan. It'll be a corner kick. They got to hustle. They need a ball as well. Clock's going to keep on running. Can they get to it in time? Corner kick coming in. Final seconds. Snapped out of there by Rutgers. And we will have overtime. 1-0 at the half. But Abello with the great service late to tie it at 2s.
What an exciting, intense last little bit of that second half. Big by Rutgers. finding 2 goals, and then a huge gritty performance in those last 4 minutes by Penn State to try and even it out.
9th time these two teams have gone to overtime. And Abello, so effective. Carrie Abello, she's had to play left back quite a bit this season. Erica Dombach moving her up, and she has paid dividends. We'll come back with overtime. We'll also show you all the goals. Rutgers and Penn State, 90 minutes, not enough on the Big Ten Network. 10-minute overtimes, but if you score, you win. If they play all 20 minutes and don't get a score, it goes down as a tie. Penn State, 9-0. We talked about Brinley, the plant in her record. Penn State's 9-0 when Abello scores a goal in her career. She's got 2 of them. How crazy is it that Erica Dombach right off the bat said, if I could clone Abello and put her everywhere, it feels like she's been everywhere, right? Inside the box, out of the box, left back, left wing, left forward.
Really, we talked about the GPS stats from Coffee, but Abello, I'd love to see as well. Both of them just seem like they have no end to their engines.
Penn State Athletic Director Sandy Barber, pretty good field hockey player in her days at Wake Forest. She's on the bench, looks like she wants to go in and get the winner.
Just feel like for Penn State, hasn't been that typical start, that typical dominating force that we've seen out of Penn State for so long. I think this could be such a turning point for them, but then you look at Rutgers as well, who had a huge start to their non-conference schedule and have had a little bit of an uphill battle come conference games. So both of these teams just so motivated and hungry to find a win.
Rutgers in white, Penn State in dark blues. Overtime we go. Rutgers 2-1-1, Penn State 1-0-1. 9th time these two teams have played to overtime. That's how competitive it's been. Jeffrey Field, University Park. Alongside Illinois' Jackie Manny, Dean Linke, delighted to be with you. Coming up right after this one and available right now on your Fox Sports app is Michigan and Wisconsin.
Seems like both of these coaching staffs were pretty fired up to get their teams going in overtime. I think we'll see another wide open type of play from both sides, trying to get that goal, trying to end this game with a win.
Running with it is Linehan. Real. Pretty sure Real will get credit for an assist off that short corner, dropping it to Abello. Jean. Shot from distance, and before Schlegel can get there, McClellan has it. Most of those overtime games have been played in Piscataway. The only previous overtime game here at Jeffrey Field was a 2-2 tie back on October 13, 2016.
I do think we dubbed Rutgers the overtime queens last season because the amount of overtime games that they had and then also came out on top of was so crazy.
Penn State, Nittany Lions led by Jean on the right back, taken away by Rutgers. Rutgers combining passes. Amira Ali. Ali on her own, good little move. And looked like a foul there from Coffee, but they'll say no, all ball. Coffee's right back up on it. So Coffee was clean, and Ali comes over on Coffee. Let's see what happened there. Ali came over Amira Ali fairly aggressively after the tackle from Coffee.
I saw a little bit of a frustration run from Amira Ali after that play.
Dyke back to Jean. McClellan stays put. It'll stay with Rutgers. Both these teams exhausted right now, Jackie.
Absolutely.
Real. Coffee. With the exception of coffee.
Just gonna say, same thing. That girl does not tire.
Penn State, their last game, an overtime winner over Minnesota in a rematch of last year's Big Ten Tournament Championship game. Little spin out. Linehan running into Rutgers. They try to find Taliaferry.
Penn State's got Rutgers completely pinned, but Rutgers.
Coffee almost winning it. McClellan, did she get her fingertip on it? I think she did, and it'll go to Penn State for a corner kick.
Coffee with this quick release on her left. Gets around Ulmer. Sends that in to far post. McClellan, good job to have her far post covered. Sends it out for a corner.
Coffee will take the corner. 10th corner of the game to just one for Rutgers. Who knows? Could Abello get a hat trick here? Sent in. Abello's in the middle of it. And McClellan has to pull that one out. That was going in. Abello was just right in front of the goal, and now she's back here to win it.
Her engine down that left side, we've talked about it, but she just covers so much ground, regardless of if she's in that left back position or that left wing position. She is just up and down that flank for the entire game.
Our stat man, Steve Shucker, tells us that Penn State has not lost a Big Ten overtime game since October 27, 2013 at Nebraska, 3-2. That's how good Penn State is. They either get a point or they get three. And it goes to overtime. Nittany Lions get it into the 18, but it'll roll out of bounds. So now we could see some subs come on here with under 4 minutes remaining. And Laura Swero, the senior from Pennsylvania, played with the FC Bucks Freedom Program.
Replacing number 32, Jordan Caniff. Swero for Caniff.
So Caniff will come off. Remember, they play 2 10-minute overtimes in search of a sudden victory. And also reminding you that Michigan, Wisconsin, that battle for first place on the Fox Sports app. Sayers thought she had the game winner. She made it 2-1. Good little move here by Coffee. Coffee's got Schlegel on the right. Why not go to the goal scored out once but twice? This one mishit though by Abello, who's got the brace. Let's take a look into the other one. Michigan and Wisconsin. Wolverines 1 or fewer goals allowed in each of the last 16 games. It's going to be a good one coming up right after this one. catch right now on the Fox Sports app. Abello.
Get out, get out, get out! Get out!
And Nabisco has been so good at center back for Rutgers.
Yeah.
Broken up so many of this Penn State attack.
That's a great call. That's a great call because Swaby gets a lot of the headlines. Swaby's not there. Provenzano tucks back, but you're right. Amanda Visco has been solid. McClellan. Coffee. Possession kept. Coffee down, right back up. Taliaferry.
1 minute to play in the first overtime.
Taliaferry going for the win, but not on frame.
This game is just so wide open. We're seeing so much fatigue out of these players right now. Deservedly so.
Penn State locked out in overtime. Word is they've not lost a home conference overtime game in the 21st century. That's pretty good. Final seconds counting down here in this first overtime.
8, 7, 6.
And Dennis will let those final seconds count down. Jackie Manning, 100 minutes, not enough. Still twos.
Absolutely, and like we talked about, a little bit of fatigue starting to set in. This game's been so wide open, tons of up and down action, lots of ground to cover. We'll see who can grit it out in this next 10-minute overtime.
Coffee, like 10 more minutes, no problem. Add a 0 to that. She could go another 100 easy. How good is she? What a great addition. Jean has been good as well. Right side, left side. Let's take a look at the highlights in this first overtime as we're tied at 2.
Right here, we've got a Coffee chance. She gets this on her left foot, drives this towards goal, ends up going out for a corner, tips away by McClellan. Corner kick by Penn State. McClellan, you thought it was going to go over right at the last second, gets those long arms up, keeps it out of the back of the net.
Look who's directing traffic right in the middle. The transfer from Boston College, Sam Coffey. Elite level soccer player. ACC Midfielder of the Year. How about that? The Big Ten Midfielder of the Year. Ogle graduates. She's playing the NWSL, so pluck one from the ACC, and in comes Coffee.
Easy transition. So different, though. I mean, Emily Ogle was so good defensively. She was really good at playing, facing the game. She could really kind of, we called her the quarterback, according to Erica Dombach, but Sam Coffey just brings that an offensive explosion to the game. Like you talked about, every time she gets the ball at her foot, you're just on the edge of your seat waiting for something exciting to happen.
See the game summary, the brace for Abello. LaPlante able to beat Jean and Reel. I don't know if you'll say that for the rest of the year. And then Sayers off the bench gave Rutgers a 2-1 lead.
That might have been, was that her first touch off of the bench?
Yeah.
It really, quite the impact at a key moment for Rutgers.
And it was LaPlante with the perfectly weighted ball to Sayers.
We always talk about the Amira Ali Moneme relationship connection, and LaPlante in on both of these key goals for Rutgers.
Michael Neal, right in the middle of it all. Tell you what, talk about a guy who has got a lot of pride in New Jersey. As you said, New Jersey has produced some of the best women's soccer players on a national stage, and he's keeping them at Rutgers. That's key.
It is, and every time we talk to him, he just sounds so genuinely excited about his program and his players. There's so much pride beaming in his voice. It's such a great conversation when we get to talk to Mike O'Neill.
So reminding you, no Tierney Wiltshire, no Chantel Swaby. They're with Jamaica. Meanwhile, one of their star midfielders, Roberts, is with the England U20 team. Abby Roberts, a freshman from Toddington, England, also not here. I'll show you the rules again. Simple. You score, you win. If they go 10 full here, it'll end in a tie. We'll pop you over to Michigan and Wisconsin. Rutgers 2-1-1, Penn State 1-0-1. Put a double exclamation mark on 21st. Doesn't matter. Penn State's not lost a Big Ten home overtime game in program history. Number 24, Michigan, at number 13, Wisconsin. Coming up after this one. Will we find a winner? 3 points, which is huge, particularly when you look at all of these surprise teams in the Big Ten. There is absolutely zero easy outs, none.
Absolutely, and when you drop points, it just makes such a huge impact on the standings.
Rutgers, possession. Ali, 3-game winners already this year, a ton last year, a ton in overtime. Ali cleared out by Coffee. It'll be a corner kick, Rutgers.
A great defensive track by Coffee to clear that out.
Just the second corner of the game for Rutgers. All it takes is one, though. You score, you win. Rutgers keeps it away from Dennis. A whistle, though.
This ball gets sent in. Watch Taliaferry.
She called a penalty? Yeah, Taliaferry, so it's a penalty kick. To end the game right here. 3-game winners already. Amira Ali. You saw the tangle there from Taliaferry. Pointed to the spot. And Amira Ali. 6 goals on the season. 3-game winners. 10 goals last year. You talk about a clutch player at the penalty spot. Real and Moname.
A scuffle between who gets territory right at the top of the box.
Real. You wonder, maybe enough distraction to affect the rhythm of Ali. Moname still in the same spot. Amira Ali to give Rutgers a 3-2 win. Waits for the whistle. Ali with the finish. And Rutgers has knocked off Penn State in 2 overtimes on the road.
called a foul on Frankie Taliaferry. This ball comes up. She initially has her left hand up on the left shoulder of Visco. And then Amira Ali steps up, finishes this, strikes it straight into the back of the net, right past Dennis.
Most goals Rutgers has ever scored against Penn State in University Park. 3 players gone on international duty, and Amir Ali 4 game-winning goals. So